and take back our communities. I'm Melissa S. Myers, and I approve this message. Political advertisement paid for by the citizens for the advancement of Ocoee.
Plenty of politicians talk, but we need someone who delivers. As our state senator, Randolph Bracey, has stood up for us, passing more laws than any Democrat and bringing more money to Orange County than any other legislator, crafting the Parkland gun bill to keep our kids safe, passing $15 minimum wage for state workers.
I'm Randolph Bracey, and I approve this message because in times like these, we need a congressman who's gotten the job done.
Tune in to The Couch live on Monday nights at 8 p.m. only on WOKB.
Hey, Trinity, can you believe that The Couch Live has now been on for 22 years, man?
Yes, I can. Because it feels like it's been forever.
All right.
But I like that.
You've been with me for 10 years, and it feels like forever.
It does.
All right, man. You know what I like? I like that you joined me 10 years ago that we've been talking about drug and alcohol problems, recovery, mental health issues, how to help families for quite some time, man. And I just think it's real cool that you're able to do this with me here at WOKB as well.
Well, that and I love my favorite part, I guess, is just the people that come on when they share their stories. And we can hear, their insight, their wisdom, some of their struggles. Like that, to me, I think is what's touched me and other people as well.
Tune in to The Couch live on Monday nights at 8 p.m. only on WOKB.
Your urban empowerment and inspiration station. 1680 WOKB and FM 100.7.
The following show and its content are the responsibility of the show's producers and participants.
Information related in this program is not meant to substitute medical recommendations. Before starting a treatment program, you should consult your physician.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Get on the couch with the Dope Doctor. Get on the couch with the Dope Doctor. Get up on the couch with the Dope Doctor.
Hey, Louie.
Shut up and sit down.
Boom, boom, boom. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm the Street Certified Dope Dr. Louis Delgado here with you. This is Dope and Dharma, the Couch Live edition of Dope and Dharma here Monday, and just about every Monday, 8 to 9 p.m. here at WOKB 1680 AM and what is the other station there?
100.7 FM.
100.7 FM.
Right, 107, 100.7.
Yeah, I got to put the point in there, Shaw, man. And then, of course, the Dharma guy, Trinity Phillips, my partner. How you doing, Trinity?
Hey, what is up?
What's up, brother? So just so y'all know, if you're listening from home, hopefully the delay is not a big deal like it normally is because I'm out here at New Smyrna Beach, Florida. The Dharma guy's over there in Orlando, Florida. And Shaw, man, is at the station at WOKB. Hey, man, holding it down. Somebody's got to hold it down in the station, man.
Right on.
Even though the gas prices are better now, Shaw, man, we should be able to drive in. But you know what? We got used to being this kind of lazy. You know what I mean? So
it is nice. I'm not going to lie.
It's really hard to drive into the radio station when you have the technology the way we have it now, Shaw, man, and can do the show from home,
Right, that part.
So I'm wondering when it's going to get to the point where Shawman's able to do his part from home. What do you think? You think we're going to get to that point?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how enthusiastic he is about it.
Well, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit because we got some special guests in the studio in the other room, and I'm just gonna let them say hi to you real quick. I mean, it's real big in here. I can't turn the camera around because it's already set. And I got it on me, so we're just gonna run from there. But go ahead, fellas. How y'all doing?
Brother Dope Doctor and Dharma guy, what's going on over there, fellas?
What's up, guys?
Mr. Greg Jackson's I'm hearing?
That's right. That's one of them.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Hey, listen, we just had a great interview with your mayor, my mayor, our mayor, the mayor of Orange County, Jared Dimmons, and had a fantastic conversation with him. So we want everyone that's listening to y'all show to know that he's our guy.
Hey, that's beautiful. Jerry's a beautiful guy. Jerry, we love Jerry. Oh, there you guys. We can see it. Hey, Jerry's there right there. Jerry's there
what's
right
up,
now.
man?
What's up, Jerry? How you
Right
doing?
on. Very
Well,
cool.
I'm sorry. I got to be informal. Mayor Demis. I'm sorry. Man, you gotta understand, man. I'm just I make those mistakes all the time. I gotta treat people as formally as they deserve. Look at that, Mayor Demis looking on like they all came in suits.
Right?
Look at them.
Yeah,
See, that's
man.
why we work from home, fellas, because we don't have to wear suits.
I
here at
can't
the
keep
house.
up. I can't do it.
You know. So tell us a little bit about Mayor Demis. What was Mayor Demis in for? What were you guys talking about today?
Well, listen, he was giving us his life story, but no one can tell us his life story better than Mayor Demis can.
Well, you know what, Mayor? What can you know? I hope you don't mind, but today's show we're talking about asking for help, which is one of the key things of people. In order to get help is how do you ask for help? You know what I mean? There's so much shame attached to it. There's so much guilt. Sometimes you've asked 1,000 times, so you think that people don't believe you anymore, that you really mean it. And I know you have a love for this space. I mean, you're the first one. For people that don't know, by the way, it was because of Mayor Demis long before he was a mayor, that the Dope Doctor even is the Dope Doctor. I was doing regular radio, and him and Carol Burkett approached me about doing a radio show for Orange County. That's 24 years ago now. Can you believe that, Mayor David? 24 years ago. So thank you very much for that. But as far as asking for help, is there something that from you, because you're a very inspirational person when you talk, how can someone feel, I guess, encouraged or motivated to ask for help? What's something that you could tell them if they're sitting at home right now, if they're listening to the show somewhere and they're just afraid to do that?
You can call and talk to our staff here in Orange County. We have something called 311 that you can dial from any phone if you're within the county, and it'll go to our call center. And there we have trained staff. If you are trying to access county services, they will put you directly in touch with those services. If you're in need of rental assistance, if you're in need of assistance to pay your utility bill, and if you're a low-income person and you can produce some proof of the income, there's money that's available for you. If you are struggling with crisis, if you need mental health treatment, if you have substance abuse issues and you need treatment, you can dial 211 in our community.
Right.
And 211 will provide access. And then I have Rod Love over here. You can even go to our website. He's created an app to where you can go depending upon where you live, and you can use that app, and it'll tell you all the social service agencies that are available and the type of those agencies right there closest to where you live.
Wait, are you saying that are you sitting there with a couple of entrepreneurs that developed an app?
Absolutely. So Rod Love can tell you about this app that he has that is working great for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Community resource connector, but a lot of this was birthed through, the mayor's vision and looking at how do you access, and in the state and time that we live in, you have to be able to, people are picking up their phones in their personal places and spaces, and a simple keyword search will get you the help you need, but it's based on proximity. It's based on if it's price for it, but it customizes to what your needs are. And, again, can't give enough credit to Mayor Demis and Orange County.
Wow. I see. I had no idea about that. I'm going to have to ask Dr. Tom Hall about this and how come he hasn't told me about it.
Dr. Hall is a good man. He runs our drug-free office, and we work in partnership with clinical providers here within our community to provide treatment and what have you to those who are suffering from substance disorders or mental illness, or who have co-occurring issues.
Right.
Hey, Dope Doctor and Dharma guy, let me ask y'all this, and I'm not going to ask you who. Well, did y'all vote yet?
I have not. No, not
I can't vote in the primaries. I'm independent.
Well, we're not going to say another word because Greg and I, when we come back on the show next week.
So I will tell you this.
Okay.
And you can vote in primaries. In some cases, if there is only one party on the ballot, and that becomes an open race, and
Really?
you can, regardless of your political affiliation, you can. Now, if it is a partisan race, and there's opposition, either no party affiliate, affiliated with a party, then you can only vote in that race for that particular party. But when it becomes an open race, when only in partisan races only one party is represented, it opens it up. And on the Florida law,
I did not know that.
anyone can vote in those races. So there are certain races on the ballot during this current election cycle where you could go and actually vote. It might not be for all of the races. And listen, my race is a nonpartisan race.
So it's open.
And so it's open.
All right.
I don't run as a DRNR. So in nonpartisan races, no matter what your political affiliation is, you can vote.
Well, I've been hoping that you would one day run for governor. So can I just please,
We'll talk about that some other time.
I am a Demings fan. I from the first time you sat on my couch over there, I think we had it was Survivor Africa. It was the cast of Survivor Africa was there. That's how long ago it was. When you first
so
sat
we've
on
been
the
around
couch.
a little while. We don't have this gray hair for no reason. Huh?
Tell me about it. Look at we all got it too, but I did not know that. So tell me, how is the race going? Are we able to? Is it today?
Early voting started today.
Okay.
And so you see, I voted. I voted today. The first day of early voting. My wife and I went down and voted today. So I know that I have 2 votes, because I voted for myself. My wife voted for me. She says, I didn't look at her ballot, but I told her, I voted for you, sweetheart. So I'm going to assume you voted for me. She said I did. So we voted for each other. So we know we got 2 votes today.
There you go. Well, let me stand up too now, right?
So here's a quiz question. Maybe this is a trivia question. Has there ever been a politician so stupid that he or she did not vote for themselves?
There are believe it or not, once you qualify, your name is on the ballot. But there are politicians who, because they were waiting till election day, and they never made it there. And I'm going to tell you this. There's a name that you will be familiar with. Earl K. Wood qualified. His name was on the ballot. But on election day, he had passed.
Oh, yeah.
And so therefore, he did not vote for himself.
He had a good reason.
Right. And if somebody else voted for him, that was a violation of the law. But Earl K. Wood won that election, and he had already passed on.
Oh, man.
That is how we got the tax collector that we have today, Scott Randolph. So the rule said that the party of the deceased victor got to select the nominee to replace the deceased victor, and Scott was chair of the local Democratic Party at the time, and the leadership substituted Scott Randolph's name in, and that's how he initially took office. And then he was reelected after that.
Hey, fellas, before we get before we get the mayor out of here, what is your show about tonight? What are you talking about tonight?
It's about asking for help. I mean, and the mayor has some new cars driving around. The one pill can kill cars, I know, are now starting to ride around. So people within Orange County, the Orange County area, might see them. I know Dr. Tom Hall's driving around in one. And it's about asking for help, because a lot of times people don't know how to reach out for help. They don't know about 211. They may not know about 988. They may not know that they can call Now Matters More at 833 Now Matters. They may not know that this government has been helping. If you're in Orlando area, if you're in the Central Florida area, this government, Orange County government, has been working on this, not just because of the opioid crisis. This is a government that I can tell you, when we first talked, it was the first opioid crisis, and they didn't stop supporting me or this show just because the crisis supposedly went away. Mayor Demings understands this issue. Yeah. Mayor Demings knows that this issue requires a lot more than a lot of talk. It actually requires people to help. It requires the infrastructure for those of us that want to help to be able to help. It requires the funding. It requires the funding dispersed properly. It requires the oversight to make sure that the criminals don't come in and take over the funding. And so we appreciate everything that you guys have done. Thank you very much, Mayor Demings. I always love Carol Burkett. You know that. That's in your office. And thank you for always being there and helping us create an infrastructure of for when people do ask for help within Central Florida, that they can get it. So, I love this opportunity to thank you as always. I always love seeing you. And now I'm sad that I wasn't there personally, because I always love shaking your hand as well.
Well, thank you for what you're doing in our community as well. We appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate
Guys,
it.
take care.
See you guys later, man. Thank you all very much.
All right, y'all take care now, fellas.
See you.
All right. They always have good guests over there. They always have food. They always have,
Right.
Everybody goes and visits them. They bring them food,
And that's why we're not there anymore.
I can't even get DoorDash over
They
here.
just said, screw it. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Mayor Demings over there, man. I love that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I still like calling him Jerry. Sorry, Mayor Demings. I just think Jerry's just a cool name. He's just a cool dude, man. He's got that. See, you know how I told you I love Clint Eastwood, right? To me, he's a Clint Eastwood.
No,
Mayor
I
Demings
like
to me is Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I like him a lot. My mother likes him as well, because she, when she was in corrections, he was actually her instructor for a little while as well. So she knew him too. It spoke very highly. Like everybody I know that knows him, like on a personal level, speaks very, very highly of him. So.
Yeah. He carries himself. To me, that's a, so whenever you hear me call someone a Clint Eastwood, that's a Clint Eastwood right there. He just walks tall, proud, doesn't have to say much. You just know when he does talk, you better be listening. And he's got that stare, that look that just makes you respect, because just full of confidence, and he's just a real deal. I love that. So let's get into it. So asking for help, Trinity, because that is the hard part, right? I mean, you may know you have you may not know that you have a problem if you're sitting out there, you're listening, you're watching, but you know that people are starting to maybe rumble about you having a problem. They might start hinting to you, you know what, you may want to think about that drinking. It's not really working for you. I don't like the way you act when you're drinking. I don't like the way you act when you're using. And of course, if you're on meth or you're using heroin, then darn well you got a problem. I mean, we don't even have to have that conversation. It's a problem.
Yeah.
But asking for it, Trinity. I mean, I just got off the phone right before this show. I just got off the phone with somebody who was asking for help, and I was connecting them to a treatment center. One of our good partners of treatment that we have out here. But what do you think about when I say asking for help? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Humility, man. I think they're depending on what the help is for. I definitely know, myself included, it's very, very hard for people to humble themselves and not to say, hey, I need help, because depending on what it is, it makes you feel somehow less than, or makes you feel weak. It makes you feel like you weren't not capable, I guess. And obviously we know that that's just not true, but it doesn't stop those feelings from arising.
Yeah. And besides the feelings, the destruction that sometimes is already present when you start asking for help makes it difficult for you to even think that you deserve the help. You know what I mean? So I think that we can't talk about the subject without actually talking about, from that end. And I know a lot of you don't want to hear about how they're feeling. You don't want to feel bad for them. You think it's kind of like feeling bad for them. And I'm not saying all this so that you feel bad for them, which I at one time was a them, but it's more like just understanding who you're having a conversation with, just understanding that there is another side to this. There's the side of the person that's actually suffering from a disease of depression, anxiety, self-hate, a lack of self-worth, a lack of confidence, a desire to die, but you don't really know how to do it yourself. So you just keep numbing yourself and using and just not caring if you happen to die along the path, because it would be much easier to just go away. You start thinking that if I do die, well, then, then all this pain is over with and everybody else can just be happy again, if I'm not here. And these are kinds of thoughts and feelings that people have when they're struggling with this. So it's a very deep, hard conversation when you really think about it. I don't know, Sean, man, have you ever had someone within your inner circle actually that you were the first person they came to, or one of the people they came to when they needed some help? Has that ever happened to you?
Yes. And at the first time it ever happened to me, it just kind of shocked me. Like the mindset that I was in was that you really coming to me asking me of all the people for help about your situation and what you got going on. You're not embarrassed about it.
Right.
But I had to step back out of myself and be like, okay, cool. This is what we can do, and this is what we're going to try to do. Matter of fact, it just happened again this morning to me on my way to work. I had a friend from college call me and say, hey, I need some help. We about to get ready to get put out because my husband got sick. He went physically, he went blind, and this going on and this going on and this going on. And we had to move into a hotel just to micromanage because all the weight fell on me. So I said, hey, I'm gonna give you my wife's number for her to reach out to her. Let me make a couple of calls after my meeting and make sure I need a number to get back in contact with you. So I'm waiting on my wife to get back with me now, just so we can. I believe in helping people. Our motto at my alma mater is enter to learn, depart to serve. And that's what we're doing, to serve.
Right. And it's a pressure, but it's a welcome pressure.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
It's something that it's almost like an honor, right? It's like you feel special that this person thought of you in their time of crisis and in their time of pain. They thought of you as someone that can help them. So, I mean, it's an honor. And I know, Trinity, it's happened to you. It's happened to you not that long ago, where someone felt like, if I speak to you, if I'm talking to you, that I'm somehow going to feel better. It can turn my life around. What about you, Trinity? Did you have a lot of that prior to being part of the Couch Live and this life of Dharma guy?
Well, it's hard to think back that long, because it feels like it's been for what's like 12 years now, I guess.
Yeah.
On different levels. Obviously before, from a professional stance, prior to being the quote unquote Dharma guy, I was also, in fitness. So I helped lots of people lose weight, things of that nature. But even before then, in my circles, I guess because I was who I was, and I was, I had a tendency to be more responsible, things of that nature, in my later years, right? Like not obviously in my early teens, but a lot of people would come to me and ask me for advice because I guess from their perspective, I had the wisdom that they needed. I've always been a helper, so it kind of just came naturally to me. And then obviously as I gravitated, got more education and did different things, then that's pretty much all I do now is help, be it family, be it friends, be it people who have come to me in a professional sense. But yeah, and I agree with you. It's you and I've said it, I don't know, countless times on this show. From the helper perspective, we don't do it for like the money or the accolades, man. We do it because we genuinely like being there for another human being. The feeling that you get when somebody is at their worst and comes to ask for help, and you're able to help get them back on their feet or get them back on a path where they're able to like excel and do their best, and to know that you played some sort of role in that, it's the most rewarding thing I've ever experienced.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's like the best way to describe it's like winning a championship game. When somebody call and asks, hey, can you help? And you put your all into it, go out, help, and then you get a chance to see that joy that, hey, I know I got a friend. I know I got somebody that I can call on in a time of need.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Before I got in this world, I mean, not that I didn't help people, but it was always a financial help. That was the kind of help that usually people would use me for, is like, could you help me pay for this problem I'm trying to get rid of? It's not funny anymore, but back in the day, it would be like, I think I paid for more abortions. I've never paid for one for anything that was mine, but I've paid for other people's. Things like that. People want money. I never paid for people to get out of jail, but I definitely paid for, to help them get back on their feet or stuff like that after it was over. Things like that. But nobody ever asked me for emotional help. I wasn't that guy. I wasn't that guy that people came to for emotional help. That's why it's weird to become a counselor, right? Because, as a counselor, I've had to offer words. I've had to listen. I've had to provide a lot of empathy and understanding rather than just pay them off. It was much easier as a dope man to say, oh, you're depressed. Here, get high, and you're not going to be depressed anymore. Oh, you're feeling lonely. Well, here, I got some female friends that you may be interested in, and then you're not going to feel lonely anymore. It was much easier to give that kind of help back in the day. So to be the guy that I am today, to offer a different kind of help, I would have never thought that to be the case. You know what I mean? That just wasn't my role. So I'm always curious as to people out there that get that kind of, that become that person that someone goes and asks for help. Like, how did you become that person? Or where, you know, what is it about you that people are seeing, you know, that made you, I guess, feel safe, I guess, that made someone feel safe with you, or that you were that beacon that was pointing north, you know, for them. That's really cool. What is Marissa saying right there, Trinity?
Yeah, Marissa's watching us on Facebook Live at the moment, and she said, I'm not an addict, but I am a physically disabled person, and that comes with stubborn independence that trickles into most areas of my life and personality. I hate asking for help! !
And see, that part I get. That part I get, because I've always been the person, if I can't do it, can't nobody else do it for me.
Really?
I've always been that person. Like, I'd rather for everybody else to depend on me than me to depend on anybody else. And I don't know why until, you know, it had to change it, and it took time to change.
Yeah.
But it was just the mere fact that I wouldn't, if I was down to my last and on my last leg, I still wouldn't ask nobody for help, because I get up on that one good leg and go do what I gotta go do to survive and make it happen.
See, I used to relate to that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there was many years in my life where I would rather fail miserably and like burn the whole house down before I asked for even a little bit of help.
Really?
However, as I've gotten older, as I've gotten wiser, as I've gotten a family and more people depend upon me, I no longer view asking for help as a weakness. I just don't.
Yeah.
I think asking for help is a strength. I think being able to take a step back, make an assessment, and realize that you yourself and everybody else depending on you would benefit by having a little bit of help.
Yeah.
I think that's a strength at this point, because at the end of the day, none of us are really alone, right? Even when you think that you're alone, you're really not. I mean, unless you're living off the grid out in the middle of nowhere and you literally built everything that you use and you made every clothing and all the food and stuff, you depended on somebody somewhere. You know, you depended on somebody's ability to produce whatever it is that you were doing.
Yeah.
You might have worked to buy it, but even then you were dependent on somebody else to give you money for whatever it is you were doing to earn it. So as I got older, I just, you know, it seems more silly to me at this point.
Marissa is hilarious. Did you see that comment?
Yeah, I put it up. Look, here he goes. See you people. I'm not on either leg and still won't ask people for help.
Listen, we got a good friend on the phone line.
Like,
I'm sorry. Calling you on his app.
Hey, how y'all doing up in there?
Dexter.
Hey, good. What's happening, Dexter? How are you, man? Welcome to the Couch Live.
All is well. You know, all is well, but I'm asking for help.
All right.
Help.
All right.
I ain't got a problem with asking for help. Help.
Me neither.
But hey, I'm serious about this help.
Okay.
You know, if you can help me, you know, it'll be all right. If you can't, I understand. You know, but what I want to know from you is is it possible to get Mayor Demings on your show where people can call in and conversate with him?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. He does have a really busy schedule, but apparently he likes those guys a lot, because this is the second time. I never asked him to be on the show, to be honest with you. Maybe I should.
We've had him on before, though.
We've had him on.
You know, we're talking about help.
But I've never thought about having him on the night show. You know what I mean? We've had him on the day show, you know, during office hours, business hours. How they get him out at night, they must promise him some food or something. You know?
Well, you know, like I say, y'all say ask for help, so I'm asking for the help.
All right.
But like I say.
All right.
So.
All right.
All right.
Be looking out for it, man. We're going to have to ask him for that. That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Dexter, man. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you.
All right. You know, Trinity, you know, so I'm thinking, I'm hearing you guys, and you guys sound like, you know, I ain't too proud to beg, man. I am that guy. And if my wife were around here close enough and she'd hear me saying this, she would definitely admit this is true, but I always ask. I mean, maybe too much, actually. My wife will always say, like, why don't you just do it yourself? Why do you always have to, you're the guy that always knows a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy, and you're always asking. It's like, no, yeah, because I'm that guy. You can always ask me. So when I need something, I know a guy that knows a guy, or I'm mentioning it, I'm saying it out loud. Why would I pick up this heavy thing right here? If there's a young man next to me, I'm gonna look at him and say, hey man, can you get this for me? I mean, I use every little bit of help that's available in my circle. I don't see the problem with that. I mean, I personally don't have that proud element in my brain. I just don't. I like asking for help, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't get it.
I don't know about you, Trinity, but I guess I got mine from being athletic and playing sports.
What are you trying to say over here, man?
I'm just that's what I believe that's what
Puny little man.
Wait a minute, what are you trying to say, man? Slimy Limey Louie couldn't be caught, man. What are you talking
little
about?
girly boy.
What are you trying
You
to
wouldn't
say,
understand how us men respond to things. All right.
That's the way
I just
heard
go ahead
it.
and sit down. You
That's the way I just heard it. Wow. All right.
Well, I'm just saying. Did you play sports?
Yeah, up to a certain until I started getting high. And no.
So at 9, he stopped. So that would be a no. He never played actual sports.
I actually stopped at 11. I lasted 2 years intoxicated. The last thing I did athletically was wrestling and the high bar. I tried the high bar in gymnastics and I flew off it. I was intoxicated and I never did another one. That was a horrible fall. I had the agony of defeat situation, and I said, I gotta pick one. You either can use substances or sports, and I chose
one or the
substances.
other.
I chose substances. So, but yeah, before as a little kid, I was very athletic. I mean, I just no. So that's funny though.
That's
man.
all I'm saying. I'm just saying. I believe for me, because I was athletic, it taught me self-discipline, courage, but it also taught me to be dependable and make sure I handle my position and do what I need to do, playing football, being on a wrestling mat, being on a basketball team, or whatever the case may be.
Listen, Shaw, man. Listen. Here's what I hear you saying. Instead of discipline and courage, what I hear is it taught me how to be cocky and believe that I have to do it myself, or else, somehow it's an attack on my manhood. If I can't do it myself, if I can't get me out of this situation for some reason, it means I'm a wimp, and I can't be a wimp. I got to be strong enough to handle it on my own. That's what I
got to pick this. I got to get this car up. Pick this car up.
That's what I'm hearing. And what I'm hearing is no. I've always worked smarter instead of harder, brother. You're talking to a guy that I had a pool. I was raised with a swim pool, right? And the thing with the swim pool, when you own a swim pool, for those of you that ever own a swim pool, it takes a lot of work. So anytime any friend would say, man, let's go swimming at your house, I'd say, we can, but you got to clean it first. So I learned way early on. Come on now. There are different people on the team, and I just happen to be one that knows how to, kind of use the linemen for what they are, man. You ain't got to be one.
Yeah, I think for me, it wasn't as much sports as it was, I don't know, just growing up, I didn't really have a lot of people I could depend on.
Oh, okay.
If there was
you hit the heartstrings there. All of a sudden,
Well,
my
just
dad
right.
left me. My dad left
Exactly.
me when I was 9.
Right. But no, I didn't have a lot of people.
All
to
my
depend
uncles
on.
went away out of state somewhere.
Exactly.
I had
That's
nobody
why
but
we
me.
come
But no, I didn't have a tremendous amount of people to depend on.
That's true.
And then when I was around people, a lot of them ended up depending upon me.
Yeah.
So over time, I kind of just got used to the idea of like I'm the one. I'm gonna do it.
You had no older brothers, right? At home. At home.
No, not at home.
Okay, Shaw, man, did you have any older brothers at home?
I'm the oldest.
See, that's why your guys' answer over anything you got to say is because you didn't have somebody older than you in the home taking care of you.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's what does it. The oldest kid is a lot more do it on their own kind of situation, and they don't ask for help because they are the parent. They are the pseudo parent.
Yeah.
You know, I am the baby of the family. So it's if you act helpless, you ain't got to do jack.
Because everybody done been through it already.
They all do it.
Just go help them. Just do it.
They're not going to starve. Now, they may give you, my brother used to give me the last 2 bites of the mac and cheese. All I had to do was clean the plate, but, you know, and clean the pan. But I still got the last 2 bites of the mac and cheese. So I didn't have to make any mac and cheese. So asking for help is one of these things that all of us have an idea of what's weak, what's not weak, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And I think what's important for us to share with the audience is that everybody, number one, I really like what you said, Trinity, about you didn't get here by yourself. There's nothing out there that you've done alone. Nothing. I know you feel like you've done. I know you may feel very alone. And you may feel like you're the only one that put yourself in this situation. Therefore, you have to get yourself out of it, because if you don't want it and you don't do it, you can't keep it. And that's the only way to do it. Nobody can do it for you. And all those things sound good. And I'm not saying they're 100% not true. There's a percentage of it that is true, but there is also a percentage that's not true. And just like Trinity said, look, man, the roads were not built by you. Even the car that you drive, look, I don't go around and check all the tires every time I drive. I trust that whoever made the tires, whoever made the brakes, whoever put them on, whoever made the fuel, whoever put the engine together, whoever put the doors on the steering wheel, they did it correctly. I trusted the people that put the lights in the roads and the things that they did it correctly. Man, I even trust that you guys are going to stay in your own damn lane, and so many of you don't. But I still trust that you're going to stay in your own lane when we're driving. I trust that if there's something in front of you, you're going to brake in time. I know that some of you like to brake at the very last second, and therefore you make me brake at the last second. But I trust that you're going to give it time. There's a lot of things that we trust. I trust that when I walk in the bedroom, that I flick the switch, that the switch goes on. And if it doesn't go on, I still believe in trust. So I'll do it up and down a couple more times, just in case somehow I must have flicked it wrong.
You want to bring it back? Bring it back. Come on back. You went right in,
because there's a lot. There's so many things that you trust.
Yeah, you're right.
And then when you think, I got to get out of the most critical situation in your entire life, you're facing total death and destruction. All of a sudden, now you want to do it on your own? Now you don't want to trust anyone?
Yeah.
That's my point. Of all the little dumb
ego.
things that exist in the world, that you completely trust people. And then when it comes to your own health and your family and your life and your kids and your future and your legacy, all of a sudden now you feel like you got to do it all by yourself. And Trinity, you said it best, so go for that. Run down that word a little bit.
Ego?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, ego isn't who we are. Ego is how we see ourselves. Doesn't necessarily mean it's what we are. But yeah, man, our ego, this sense of self, this idea that I'm bigger than that, or I'm
right.
Whatever, this causes us to do all sorts of stupid things. And it's not just a man thing, by the way. Anybody out there, thinking, oh, women and their egos, trust me, women have them as well.
Yeah,
they might appear differently, but trust me, we all have them.
I done seen some of them, a lot of them. Yeah.
Sounds a little personal there, man.
Yeah.
You need to lay on the couch for a minute, man, and
you want to ask for help?
Yourself?
Hey, blink twice if you're in danger.
That's why he's in the studio. He doesn't want to go home.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the ego can prevent you from get what you need done, man. Sometimes you need to ask, man. Our health is important, and when we're unhealthy, it involves our thought process as well. It involves our fears of reaching out as well.
I want to put a caveat to that, though.
Okay.
Because one thing we haven't addressed here, we've addressed sort of in other shows, but in this one we haven't.
Okay.
I think there's a caveat to asking for help, and that is asking the right people. Yeah. I think too often we'll ask for help, but from like the worst possible person, right? Like we'll go to like I've said it before, like if I'm married, right, and my goal is to be married for a long time. So if I need like marriage advice or relationship advice, I probably shouldn't go to my friend who's like perpetually single, who's cheated on every woman he's ever been around or whatever. Yeah. Like I shouldn't go to him for help. And so I think that there's a certain amount of wisdom in knowing who to ask for help.
Yeah.
For what you're needing. You know what I mean? So like, other words, the problem with that is if you ask the wrong person for help,
Right.
and then they're going to give you the wrong kind of help and it's not going to
Yeah.
work, then you're more likely to be like, well, I'm not going to ask for help because last time I did, well, that's on you. Like it's not the act of asking for help that wronged you. It was your decision making to ask the wrong person for help. That's what went wrong.
Right. I got a caveat to the caveat.
Oh, boy.
Not only ask the right person, but don't just ask people that agree with you. Don't ask somebody for help that you kind of already know what they're going to say, and it's something that you wanted. Listen, I don't go to my neighbor who never fixes cars or anything to ask him about my vehicle. It's not going to happen. I may go to a neighbor if they fix cars. I may go to that neighbor and ask him. I've done it. I've gone to neighbors who fix cars, something about my car. That makes sense. Just like Trinity said, you don't go to a divorced person and ask them about marriage.
Exactly.
You don't go to a broke person and ask them, financial advice. It doesn't work that way. You have to get, you go to a person of faith if you have faith questions, right? Like if you had a question about your faith, if you were struggling with your relationship with God, for instance, you'd go to somebody who believes in God, who understands God a certain way, that you say, man, I like the way that person believes in God, so I want to go to that person. So in other words, you go to somebody who has what you want out of the situation. That may make sense. So a healthy person, you may go for your health. Trinity has what, size 30 arms? I don't know. Let me see your arm real quick, Trinity. Show your bicep. Just go like this real quick, Mr. Athlete. Look at that arm. See, so if I wanted to build up my arms, I'd probably go to him. I wouldn't go to me.
That's just because you didn't play sports. You weakling. You're not even like really a man, right? You're just kind of like whatever the man is. You're like one step below that because you didn't play sports. You know what I mean?
All because of sports.
I learned that because I played sports when I was a kid, and it taught me these things.
My golf doesn't count.
No, Daryl Strawberry carrying you to the finish line does not count.
Oh, wait a minute. I've hit better shots than Daryl.
Probably because he's more of a bat guy.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. But anyway, so no, so the situation is true. You got to go to somebody who can help you, and not just agree with you. But more importantly, if you're a person out there that's been asked, like Shaw said, he got asked by somebody for help. You have to know your own limitations. If you're a person that people are coming to for help, then there's something really special about you. There's something about you that says, I can trust you. There's something about you that says that you're the one to come to. There's something magical about you, something awesome about you. So it's important for you to know then that you got to bring in help. It's not that you got to do it yourself. Don't feel obligated as that person that someone came to, that you got to be the one. You got to bring in a team. I have a team of people. I have a team of all kinds of people that can help people. So even if someone comes to me, it's not just going to be me. I got so many beautiful people around me that I can bring to the table to help somebody. Just like right before this show today, there was a guy struggling, in need. Needed help, and I brought on a team that I feel can actually help the person. So I connected them. That is how you do it. You bring a team together. Don't try to stand alone as a person when someone comes to you for help, because the cry for help is serious. The cry for help is something that you got. And you got to admire it, man. I admire it so much, man. And I hope that in my life, should I come to a point of desperation, needing help again, my ass can open up again. I hope that I can say it. I hope that I have the power to say I need help, because that to me is so awesome. And so if there's anyone out there listening right now, watching right now, whatever, and you're in a situation where you need some sort of help, you can ask us. You heard Mayor Deming said it, right at the top of the show. Mayor Deming said 211. At first he said 311.
No, 311 is for Orange County stuff. 211 is for
all right, 211. Yeah, 211. So 211, but 211 is Orange County too. 211 is
311 is strictly for Orange County services.
Okay. So okay. So 211, you got 8339 Matters. Hell, in Orange County, you got 407 Recover. You got 988 suicide hotline, National Suicide Hotline. There's so many people that are out there that are willing to help you. They can help you. You don't have to go to your friend. Like Trinity said, what if they're the wrong friend? You know, like I used to be the wrong friend. If you would ask me for help, I don't care how emotional you got. I'm just passing you a joint and I'm saying, here, smoke this. That should resolve everything. I seriously thought that was used for everything. I didn't.
And you deserve help. That's the other thing that you touched on earlier. Like you do deserve help, right?
Right.
There's nobody that I can think of right off the top of my head that just I've met in my entire life that just doesn't deserve help. That's like, oh, I'll help anybody but you.
Right.
I think that if you're willing to ask for help, you deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially now that I'm a little bit more mature, a little bit more.
Is that what you call it?
Older.
That's just because of all the sports you played that helped you out.
Right. Even my worst enemies, I would give a helping hand to, because I don't want to see anybody suffer. I don't care how mad I am, how disrespectful you are to me. I will still help, and I'm done with it. That's me more now than anything.
I'm surprised you call them enemies as an athlete. You should probably call them opponents.
Yeah, right. But in our time, they was the enemy until we got off the field.
The opposing team. I don't care if you're on the opposing team.
I help them up at the end. I help them up at the end of the game.
Yeah, you may knock them down, but then you put your hand out to pick them back up.
Right.
Get back up so I can knock you back down again, please.
Right. Go grab that person this time.
Yeah. I know that some of you out there, some of you are probably thinking, again, let's get back to the part that says, I got here on my own, so I got to get out of here on my own. The reason that it's important to not think that way is because there's, even in the, Trinity has said it on this show many times. He says that the 12 steps should be used for everybody. Everybody could actually use these 12 steps and work through these 12 steps.
I agree.
The 12-step program is a beautiful program. I've done it many times myself. And the first word of all the steps is we. It's the first word of all 12 steps is the word we. The we concept is probably the most important concept in the entire thing. Because we together can do a lot of things. We as a group can do a lot of things. We as a people, we as a friendship, we as a couple, we as friends, whatever the we part means to you at the moment, it's a lot more powerful than I. When you stand alone, you really are alone, and you're left making decisions based on an isolated thought process of just one ideology, maybe even a desired outcome. But if you've ever sat in a think tank or a group of individuals and kind of like kicked around ideas, you've seen how cool that can get. I mean, think about all the great music. I mean, let's take music, for instance. I don't care how great you are. There's a lot of guys that come out in music. Not everybody's a prince of music, where they play every single damn instrument and write every single, part to every instrument. Most people, they kind of sit there. They go, look, I had this riff. They start playing. And then just people start kicking in and people start just joining in. And man, I don't know if you've ever been around musicians that all of a sudden start creating music, but
what?
I've been there when musicians start creating, and it's like they've never played this song together, and all of a sudden, within like 30 minutes, everybody's playing like a part of the song, and it's like, how did you guys just figure that out? And it's because there's just this thing, that everybody just kind of gets, and it's a we thing, and that's just like good health. Good health is the same, man. You start laughing with your friends. You start feeling better about life with your friends. You feel included. You feel worthy. You feel valuable. You feel connected. That word is not big enough.
Yeah.
Connected.
Well, even in sports, right? Even
Right.
in sports, I was just gonna say that. No, but we were joking about it. But even in sports, even your solo sports, they still have coaches.
Absolutely.
Tiger Woods at his top level game, he
Right.
still had a guy spotting him and helping him figure out which path to take, things of that nature. Like I don't know of anybody who's accomplished anything great on their own.
Right.
That was the slogan that I learned in college. It said, I and me shall never be. Us and we will always be.
Wait.
What?
All right.
What?
Yeah. Say it again. Say it again.
Something like I and me shall never be, but us and we will always be.
Wow.
Okay, that was deep. Man.
Wow. That's like a Tribe Called Quest kind of thing.
Here we go. Yep. Here we go. Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
That was like a Boogie Down production kind of intelligence right there.
That's better. See, when I heard the sports stuff, I always heard there's no I in team. Yeah, but there's a me.
Right.
I think T.O. said that one, by the way.
Yeah, that's funny. The good thing about sports is that sports can be used a lot with this, and you do see it because there's so many aspects of sports. You're right. There's a training room. There's the coaching staff. There's the players. There's all kinds of individuals. There's the equipment managers. And all that stuff. Everything kind of has to come together to kind of make it flow really nicely and work perfectly. And it's no different with your mental health. With your whatever emotions you're experiencing, whatever substance you're using for whatever reasons you're using them. There's people around you that can really help you just identify whether you need to continue down this path or not, whether you can alter the trajectory of this path, whether you can change it, and how that looks. Because you don't want to just go cold turkey with some things out there. If it's alcohol, if it's benzodiazepines like Xanax or something like that, you don't just quit cold turkey on things like that. You have to utilize some medical help. So because it can be dangerous doing things on your own. So please don't just quit drinking overnight or quit using benzodiazepines like Xanax overnight. You can't do that. You got to get weaned off it. You got to possibly even go to detox to help you get medically stabilized off it. And so it's going to require more of a team effort than you think. And so you got to reach out. I've heard it way too many people say, I'm just going to do it from home. Not so long ago, I was talking to a guy and he was like, I'm going to quit drinking, but I'm just going to do it from home. I've done it many times before. And I'm saying, God, it's just not even worth it, bro.
Bad idea.
And yet that's his plan. I mean, and look, if you choose to do it, you could do it. But just hear me now. I'm telling you, you don't have to. And it's very dangerous if you do.
Well, I think there's one more thing here. I know we're running out of time, but
Okay.
another thing that we haven't mentioned that I think is probably the utmost important when it
Okay.
comes to asking for help. And I think too oftentimes it's understood, but is it really? Accept help. When you ask for it and somebody gives it to you, accept it.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a big thing. A lot of people ask for help. And then when they give it to them, they maybe they're too stubborn, maybe they're hard headed, maybe they it's not the kind of help that they thought that they wanted or whatever, and they just won't use it. I've seen many people who come to me and ask for help, and you try to help them, and then they do what they wanted to do anyways, and then you're left thinking, well, then why did you even ask me? I gotta understand. And obviously it's not that simple, but from the person asking for help, you do have to be open to receiving that help.
Well,
You can't just go through the motions of asking. You got to take it too.
I think you struck a nerve with Strawman there.
Yeah, because you did. Y'all on my toes. You all in my lane, my bowling lane. Now. But yeah, and I deal with that even to this day, and I'm still working on it. Like, I'm accustomed to just, hey, the job got to get done, do it yourself. But when you get the help, it's like, they say, well, what you need me to do?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
This is what I'm doing. This is what I got going on. So, but I'm a work in progress.
Well, I mean, I know this one way too well, unfortunately. I mean, in 30 years of helping people, there's people that only reach out when they're in serious pain, and I'll hear from them only when they're in a bad way, and that's fine. That's okay. One of these days, we can walk through that together, and you'll get it. I'm just patient like that. But yeah, that's a very good point, Trinity. Thanks for bringing it up. And yeah, we are out of time. I can even hear the music. Shawman starts playing, telling us he's going. And look, Michael Maynard said a nice thing. So let's put it up there. He says, I hear Trinity Phillips. You know what? So do I. I hear Trinity Phillips too.
What's
the
up?
Dharma guy. All right. So Trinity, we got to start getting out of here. Any last words, brother?
Yeah, man. I just think for help, man. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. You're not undeserving of it. It doesn't make you any less, doesn't make you any weak to ask for help. If somebody's asking you for help, do your best to help them. And sometimes that help might not necessarily be your time or your money or your energy. It could just be as simple as connecting them to somebody else. But try not to turn away the person who is asking for help, because that is a hard thing to do. And then if you do ask for it and somebody gives it to you, try to take the help.
Shawman.
Everybody needs somebody to love. Everybody needs somebody for help. Don't be afraid to ask.
That's right. Shawman, what's happening after this show?
The Side Show. All Good Entertainment is getting ready to show up and show out. They running through the doors now, getting ready to make it do what it do. a Friday night, Saturday night showdown on a Monday night.
Right on, right on. Thanks to the fellas before the show that came on at the top of the hour. Our Greg Jackson, Rod Love, and of course Mayor Demings. Thank you for being on the show earlier today. Look, love you guys too. SC Maynard said, love you guys. We love you too, Mike Maynard and Marissa and everybody that joined us. The other thing is like this. Look, there's a lot of things in your life that you're going to need help for. The real key is that you ask for it. You know who you can ask for it. You really do. You know who's there for you. They'll always be there for you. Don't feel ashamed if it didn't work out the first time. Maybe it'll work out the 1,000th time. Who cares? Those that really matter really aren't keeping count anywhere. I'm never keeping a score. You want to reach out? Reach out. We're here for you. 833 Now Matters. That's 833 Now Matters. Adios, amigos. It's time for a taco. Goodbye.